bends himself and stretches as he gets out of his car, and the air assaults his tongue. It's thick with green, and Shirley feels it too. As she comes out of the transport truck, she drops her mouth, her trunk comes up, and her ears begin to flap. They lead her into the barn, into the safe holding pen. There is a steel gate. It is 3 levels thick to protect her at the beginning while she meets the other elephants. Everyone has heard they have a new elephant coming, so the journalists are there and they have lined the walls. Scott Blaze has his video camera and he videotapes everything that is happening. And Shirley as Solomon holds and sprays the hose and waters her down one last time. Shirley puts the hose down, reaches to her ankle, undoes the chain. He stands up, he looks, he sees that Scott Blaze's camera is right on his face. He turns his face away, wipes out a tear, leans back against the wall, and there is still the camera, and he says, "I do not know who was the first to put that chain on her, but I sure am glad that I am the last one to take it off. I'm gonna miss her." And then they start to come. The first elephant that comes is Tara, the one that the sanctuary was created for. Tara comes into the barn. She is 30 years old. She recognizes an elder. She comes in slowly with her head down and then very carefully reaches her trunk gently in an upwards direction through the gates to ask permission to sniff. And Shirley drops her head ever so slightly so that Tara may do so, and everyone breathes. Barbara comes next. She is never too far behind. She is recovering from a 2,000-pound weight loss. She is the same age as Shirley. She comes straight on and sticks her trunk straight through, and the two of them give each other a thorough sniffing. And now the journalists laugh and they take notes and pictures are taken, and it is time for the last elephant to come. They wait and they wait for Jenny. Jenny doesn't come. This is not a circus. They do not round her up. Night comes. The moon rises. The crickets sing. An owl. A journalist all gone home, and Solomon James has a long drive he goes to. And so does Scott and Carol, still waiting for Jenny, the last elephant. The moon is high when she arrives. Jenny comes into the barn, playful, loving Jenny, who has taken her own sweet time, comes into the barn. She looks and she sees that it is an elephant older than she is, and she drops her head and comes over and sticks her trunk through, but Shirley is turned back to the gate, so Jenny gives her backside a quick sniff and then pulls her trunk out from the gate and backs up. And then comes on forward and reaches her trunk straight into the gate and gives a much deeper sniff, and then trumpets. And then Shirley turns around slowly and she reaches her trunk to sniff back at Jenny, and Jenny puts her trunk right into Shirley's ear and sniffs, and then trumpets, and then backs up, and then turns completely around, and then comes forward and lifts her body up onto the gate and bellows. And then she comes on back down. And then she backs up and she comes on again. This time she goes on her knees as if somehow she could go under the gate. And then she bellows. And then Shirley stops. And Jenny stops. And they look at each other in silence. And then Shirley bellows back. And then Jenny bellows and Shirley bellows, and the two are now trying to go up over the gate to somehow get at each other. And Carol and Scott are holding their breath. They've never seen a reaction like this. And finally Carol has to run out of the barn to try to get some clarity, some air, and it is seeing the moon and the stars. Suddenly it hits her. Oh my God. They know each other. Scott, they know each other. And they try to pull back the gate, but the gate is bent by the strength of those two. And so they muscle it open. And Shirley and Jenny roll into each other. They rub and they lean, skin to skin, trumpeting and bellowing, family,